Are you planning on making an offer in the coming months or even in the next year? Well, if you have never heard of writing a letter to the seller of the home that you're interested in, this is something you want to pay attention to. We're going to talk about this, and we're going to have a free download of a sample letter that you can use right after this. Hey everybody, my name is Jared Chamberlain, and we would love it if you are watching this and you're enjoying the content that you're seeing. If you could subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, because that's going to get this message out to a lot more people. But today we are in our office studio, and I am joined with Simmi. How are you, Simmi?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I am doing great.
Great.
Simmi Ajla has been on our team for years.
Yeah.
Literally years now.
Yeah.
And we were talking this morning, and we were talking about how multiple offer situations come up, and how as a buyer, it can be kind of stressful. You want to have this fine line of, do you tell them who you are? Do you not tell them who you are when you're writing an offer? How does that all look? How does it work? So we want to jump into this topic, and we're going to talk to you guys about this today. And we're also going to offer you a free downloaded guide, or a sample letter that you can download that's going to walk you through basically a template of how to write a really good letter to the seller of the home that you're interested in buying. Aren't we going to do that?
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are going to do that. So to Simmi, why don't you tell us a little bit? You've helped a few people this year who are moving up, who have bought and sold, families doing that. And both of those times we were just talking about how you did get them to write letters when they're making offers. So why don't you maybe kind of talk about some of the experiences, some of the things you've seen, some of the things you learned, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, definitely. So this year, I think, has been unlike any year in real estate. So just with the amount of multiple offers that we were seeing and experiencing, we quickly had to figure out a way to set ourselves apart.
Absolutely.
Because sending just a regular offer when you were competing against 7, 8, sometimes 10 other people just wasn't enough. Yeah. So one thing that I have found success in, and something that I'm still actively doing if I am in a multiple offer scenario, is supplementing that offer for my buyer with a letter to the seller. Yep. Yeah, and it's pretty simple. I mean, I know it sounds simple to say out loud, but it's one of those things that really sets you apart. Yeah. And traditionally, I mean, in the years past, this wasn't really something we were doing much.
A lot. Yeah, and so and just speak to that. I mean, we've been in real estate since 2004, 2005, and I don't remember writing letters that often. I mean, we ended up having some of the markets in like 2007 and 8, 2014 in Calgary, anyways, when we had those big spikes and those big
every 7
pushes.
Years.
The 7
7 years.
Spike.
I know.
Oh, we should claim that. We gotta
real.
Trademark that. The 7-year spike. It is real here.
Yeah.
But when we were doing those, we would sometimes write them.
Okay.
But not until they were there and it happened.
Yeah.
But this year, it was a lot more. And I even have seen agents on the team not even doing it when it's multiple offers. It's just, let's just write a letter.
Okay.
Right? Because you want to sometimes get the emotions of the seller going.
Yeah.
Because, you know this, a buyer buys on emotions.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a seller sells analytically.
Yeah.
And so for them to bridge that gap, you need to sometimes get the seller out of the analytical side of their brain and pulling them to the emotional side. And sometimes that letter can help in bridging the gap, right?
Yeah, exactly. Especially when, I mean, for many reasons, if you're not in a multiple offer scenario, I think it is helpful to get them out of that analytical brain just to kind of bring a face to who the other side is, because I still hear people ask me like, oh, we don't get to meet the seller, or I don't get to meet the buyer, right? People still ask those questions.
Absolutely.
And I guess this is kind of a way to allow you to get to know who the other person is, because you've created really good memories in your home, and it can be a hugely emotional decision letting that go, and you believe your property is worth a certain value, right? So you want to be what's the word I'm looking for, like,
you want to get it.
Yeah.
It's dollar bills.
Validated.
Validated.
You want to feel validated for that.
100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So we're going to jump in and talk about the structure of a letter to the seller of a house that you're interested in buying. But before we do that, I do want to say to you as a buyer out there, if your agent is going to do this, and if we are doing this for you, anyone from our brokerage here, we will always ask what is okay to disclose.
Absolutely.
So if there are things that you do not want disclosed to the seller, please tell your agent, and your agent should be, because they're legally bound to, only disclose what you have said is okay. Okay?
Yeah, I'd like to add that
Absolutely.
the letter you should actually be writing together.
Absolutely.
Like it's not like the agent writes the letter and then they submit the letter on your behalf. It's totally like you're collaborating on it. You are letting your agent know the information you feel sharing.
Yeah.
And then essentially when you feel comfortable with that letter, you're like, yeah, that's enough information for me to share. Then that's obviously the letter that you can use. But definitely don't share anything that you don't feel comfortable sharing.
Well, I like what you said, like writing it together.
Yeah, collaborate.
Yeah. So, so a lot of times we'll kind of like, if a client is like, well, what would we write? Then at that point, then the client would kind of say, well, what would we write? We'd go, well, do this, this, this.
Yeah.
I mean, we've also sent them some of the templates that we've done here.
Absolutely.
And then they're able to fill in the blanks. And then you go back and say, hey, you know what? I remember we talked about this.
Yeah.
This would be really good to share. Or let's leave this out because it gives too much information. But let's find that balance in it also.
And it can be vague. It doesn't have to be like, what you do for work and what street you live on, like it can be vague.
I have a 18 size 8 shoe.
Yeah. I think just the act of doing it when not everybody does do it.
Totally.
It's like, oh, these people actually went the extra mile.
And they cared about it.
Yeah.
I agree. So, okay, we got a bunch of things to work through. And I'd say there's 4 or 5 parts of the letter that you really want to focus on. And so, Simmi, what's the first one? The first step that we want to look at when we're writing a letter?
So the intro.
Yeah,
the intro should be, pretty strong. You want to come in and just say to the homeowners, or if you have their name, right? You can mention their name of 123 Airdrie Street.
Yeah.
And just kind of mention the actual address of the home that you're looking to purchase, because you want to recognize the address, and then they won't feel like, oh, they're just kind of using a basic template.
Yeah.
If you make notice of the address and make notice of the seller, they're going to feel, seen and heard.
Validated,
yeah.
That's right.
So always mention the other party and acknowledge the address.
So should they say to the sellers of 123 Main Street?
To the owners.
To the owners?
Yeah, to the homeowners or to the Smith family, whatever information they have access to.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, so if you're writing the letter, ask your agent for the names. If you for whatever reason they don't have it, or it's a corporation, like if it's corporately owned.
Oh, true. That could be tricky.
That can be kind of hard. So that's where you might want to say to the owners of, because you're not going to pull a corporate search and blah, blah, blah. So, but if you have the family names, I think that's huge.
Yeah.
Even say, if you know it's a family there, say to the Smith family.
Yeah.
Right? Who live at da-da-da-da-da-da. Right? That's good.
Absolutely.
So the second part, in that's the intro. And then you're going to have the first paragraph. And what do you find has been really good to put in that first paragraph?
The second paragraph is a really good opportunity for you to talk a little bit about
First paragraph or second? Because we had the intro.
Oh yeah.
That was just the title.
Okay, the first body paragraph.
Yes, there you go.
So your first...
Sorry, I gave you a little bit of a stunned face there.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll keep going.
Okay, so your first body paragraph should be a little bit about who you are.
Yeah.
So, maybe you just moved here from the West Coast. Maybe you have some kids. Feel free to mention, again, whatever information you feel comfortable about. Feel free to mention a little bit about who you are, what you're doing, and just, paint a little bit of a picture so that the seller or the owners can get to know who you are and essentially get to learn who will be potentially occupying the new space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because what I've found is when people are buying and selling, the buyers are typically, I would say all the time, but buyers are typically who the sellers were when they bought. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever thought of that.
That's an interesting way of putting it.
So for us, if we were to buy a house, most likely we are buying from somebody who was at the stage of life that we are currently in.
Yeah.
Because houses transition with life stages.
Yeah. Yeah.
So here's a little tip. When you're writing these letters or this letter, talk about your kids' ages.
Yeah.
Talk about, or if you don't have kids, that's fine. Talk about your dog. Talk about your pets. Talk about activities that you do as a family or together as a couple. Whatever it is, like kind of talk about it, because there's like a 50-50 chance they're really going to relate and go, that's who we were. We would love someone to like, or if someone's buying our house where I live currently, most likely there's someone who might have really young kids or no kids.
Yeah.
And they're a couple.
Yeah.
Because that's who we were when we bought. And that's who is buying our house.
Like
if we sold it, like that's who's buying around our house right now. There's 3 or 4 couples that have done that.
It's kind of like your house has a demographic.
Ooh,
yeah. Ooh. Your house has a demographic.
Your house
target market
has a demographic. You heard it here first, everybody. All right, so that's your first paragraph.
Yes.
Now, the second paragraph is talking more about where they've been living, where they're from, anything like that. Is that correct?
Yeah, so I will generally mention, we've been a part of the South Quadrant for 10 years and, maybe mention a little bit about what you like there, but then you can kind of go into, but we really like this new area because of X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, and it fits our needs.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, that's cool. And I think then when you move into the third paragraph, again, these are more like 1 or 2 sentences.
Yeah.
These are not full paragraphs.
It's a very short,
Like it should be like an email kind of written thing, right? So you're not talking about a big letter. So, but then that next part is the third paragraph, third section, is really digging into when we walked into your home, I fell in love with, or we noticed that you paid a lot of attention and did this reno here, or we could tell that you were a family that loved this, or it's like flattery.
Yeah.
It is full on, this is why we love this place. This is why we're writing an offer on it.
Yeah, you need to be able to pick up on the little things when you're in the home. If you see little shoes of kids or, toys in the bonus room, and if that relates to you, mention that, right?
Yep.
The big bright windows maybe made you feel a sense of relief and just ease when you were in the home. These little things that you pick up on that set their home apart to the others is what's going to catch the seller's attention, because it's like, whoa, that's why we bought this house.
Yeah.
It's nice to know that that's why somebody else wants to buy this house.
Yeah. So a little story about that is this year there was one client that I was helping Rebecca with, and it was actually on the street of where her kids and grandkids lived. So they were going to become neighbors with her kids and grandkids, and or her daughter and grandkids. And it went into multiple offers, and we wrote a letter, and we made sure that we put in there, because we could tell that this couple that was selling it was also grandparents. So we ended up putting in the letter basically that we are so excited to live in this area, but not only just this area, but this street, because our grandkids are 10 doors down kind of thing. And so now we're gonna be able to help them out with after school care and this and that and just things like that. And that helped.
Yeah.
Because it was like, boom, same level, right?
That's just so much information, right? Like if you know that much information, definitely put that in the letter. That's only going to make it stand apart, and it just brings a sense of realness to it.
Yeah, absolutely. So then the fourth part is, so again, you kind of talked about how telling more about the family, but not so much telling more about the family and what they're doing now or have done. It's more what?
It's actually how they potentially see themselves living there.
Absolutely.
So you, again, want to let them know, hey, we really envision, inviting our grandkids over to the space and letting them settle in and run around in the yard, and just these little things that you actually did truly pick up on. This isn't lies, and we're not just making it up, right? These are real conversations that you have when you're actually in the home and showing it. The things that you say and the conversations that you had while you're in the home, feel free to mention that and let them know, hey, we do see ourselves living here. And
or even a little bit about the location.
Yeah.
So you can say, we have been waiting for a home in this street, in this quadrant, in this whatever community for a long time, and it's because of XYZ. Or we love that it's located on like something really specific on the corner of
Yeah.
this street, because now we're going to be able to keep our RV in the backyard, and it's something we've been waiting to do for years.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, be real.
And those are
Right?
conversations you have
Yes.
when you are in the home with your agent and
Yeah.
your client is telling you, hey, this is what I feel. I can park my toys in the back, and,
Yeah.
and the garage is big enough for the shop.
Yeah.
Right? These little conversations that you have, you actually need to listen and pay attention and
Yeah.
tie that in if you can.
And I would say that this isn't necessarily like giving away motivations. This isn't
No.
giving away reasons of why you're moving. What it's doing is it's painting a picture
Yeah.
so that a seller can emotionally attach themselves to a buyer and look at it and go, I really want them to get it.
Yeah.
I really like this family or this couple or whatever. I really like this person
Yeah.
that could be the next owners.
And it won't appeal to everybody, right?
No.
Like you will encounter some scenarios where sellers are like, I could care less.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
And they actually don't even read the letter.
And
That's happened.
oh, really?
Yeah.
That's rude.
Where I'm like, that's rude. It
Yeah.
is rude.
Yeah.
You're like, I spent so much time on that.
Yeah, no, but that's just the thing, right? Not everybody is going
Yeah.
to care, but there will be that off chance that you do appeal to somebody, and you want to be able to use that, right? Because in this market, it can be crazy, and you want to be able to win the home of your dreams.
Absolutely. All right. Well, this has been helpful. We, again, would love for you to subscribe to our channel, hit that like button, and if there's anything we can help you with in the future, please let us know. But I also want to make sure and remember that go to our description. There's a link in there, and we will have a free download that you can download a free template where it's going to walk you through all of these steps and help you understand and see exactly how to lay out that letter to a seller of the home that you're interested in buying. All right. So that's what we have for now. Anything else to add? Any other thoughts?
I think we wrapped it up pretty well there.
I think we did.
Yeah.
We got a lot of good stuff in
We
there.
did. I think just the main thing is like, don't give away motivation.
Totally.
Just be careful with the information you share. Be comfortable with whatever you're sharing, right?
Yeah. And make sure you are okay
Yeah.
with what is in the letter and what your agent is passing along. So
Yeah. Collaborate.
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 There you go. All right. Well, thank you, everybody, and hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.